Hello students. So now we will discuss about the next topic, that is how do we breathe. So in this particular topic we are going to discuss about the mechanism of breathing. So before that, let us see this diagram. In this particular diagram you can see nasal passage, oral cavity, pharynx, trachea, lungs, ribs and diaphragm. So when we study about the mechanism of breathing, all these organs are really very important. They play a very important role while breathing. So you can see here that from this nasal passage we can take in air, and in this particular nasal passage we have small tiny hair, nostril hairs. They trap dust particles and germs while passing air through it, and it prevents them from being entered in our trachea. So this is something very good. And whenever they cause any kind of irritation in our nose, we sneezes. And when we sneezes, all the dust particles are thrown or expelled out with pressure. So this is a very, you can say, good strategy of this nasal passage. Now from this nasal passage, our air rushes in through pharynx, which is also called throat. Trachea, the other name of trachea is windpipe. And from trachea you can see there are two branch like structures which passes this air into the lungs. You know children, in our lungs we have very fine pores. It has got a big surface area. इतने छोटे छोटे pores होते हैं हमारी lungs में, which we call alveoli और air sac. और ये इतने सारे होते हैं, इतना बड़ा स्पेस कर देते हैं, they are so minute spores and it fills the whole lungs, both the lungs, so that at a time large amount of air goes into the lungs. They get inside the lungs and mix with the blood, the all the oxygen. And what is the use of this ribs? You know, ribs, this is the chest cavity where lungs and ribs are located, and ribs, they are protecting our lungs and heart. So when we inhale this chest cavity, they uh, expand, they moves up, ribs move up, outwards and outwards. And what happened, this diaphragm is a muscular part, ठीक है, it expands, ओके, इट बिकम्स फ्लैटेंड, ये एकदम नीचे आ जाता है. तो जब ये नीचे आ जाता है और चेस्ट एकदम ऊपर की तरफ पुल होती है कैविटी, तो आपकी चेस्ट कैविटी में इतनी एयर भर जाती है, इट गिव्स लॉट ऑफ स्पेस. So when it gets lot of space, it rushes in lots of air. ठीक है. And the reverse takes place when we expel, when we exhale. During exhalation, the reverse process takes place. Your ribs move down and inwards while your diaphragm moves up to its former position. Diaphragm वापस से ऊपर आ जाता है. ठीक है. So it reduces the size of the chest cavity and air is pushed out of the lungs. So these movements in our body can be felt easily. So when you keep your hand on your abdomen, so you feel your chest raises while inhalation and exhalation. ठीक है, ऊपर नीचे आप ब्रीदिंग फील करते हो ना इस तरह से, किस अपनी या किसी और की. तो बिकॉज ऑफ दिस रीज़न ओनली कि जो आपकी चेस्ट कैविटी है वो आउटवर्ड इनवर्ड अप डाउन होती है, बिकॉज ऑफ दैट ओनली. सो व्हेन यू इनहेल, तो वो स्पेस बढ़ाने के लिए डायाफ्राम प्लेज अ मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट रोल हियर. डायाफ्राम जो है वो बिल्कुल नीचे आ जाता है ताकि स्पेस ज़्यादा बड़ा हो जाए, और व्हेन यू एक्सेल डायाफ्राम छोटा होता है, इट गोज बैक टू इट्स फॉर्मर पोजीशन. So this is how this whole function takes place. And to make you understand this function very easily, they have given some activities also. So see, mechanism of breathing in human beings. They have given these two activities to make you understand. When air is drawn in the first case, see inhalation, तो diaphragm moves down, नीचे आ गया, chest cavity का area आप देख रहे हो बढ़ गया. And in the second case you see exhalation, diaphragm moves up and ribs moves back. So air forced out. See the comparison of the both chest cavity. In one, the volume is larger. In the other case, the volume is smaller. So this is the difference in size. You must can feel it yourself. See, this boy is measuring the chest size while inhalation and exhalation. So you can do this very easily. And very easy and very common diagram which you can see here in the picture. There's a very common diagram which children generally made to understand this breathing mechanism. So they have taken this plastic bottle and they have taken these two balloons. Rubber sheet acts like a diaphragm and these two balloons acts like lungs. Okay, and when these balloons, you can see what they do, they simply, when this chest cavity is, this diaphragm especially, when it moves down, balloons inflate and it's get filled up with air, and when this diaphragm goes up, balloons get empty, just like our lungs, as it has no air. So this simple diagram help us to understand the mechanism of breathing.